Like, you don't realize that you scrolling on social media is control. It's mind control. What do you think the algorithm is? How do you think these social media apps get paid? By keeping you on the app as long as possible. That is literally the control right there. It's like puppet master just controlling you. We're gonna keep him on the phone by only showing him videos that he wanna see, so he stays on this app as long as possible. Because if he stays on this app as long as possible, he's not gonna think about his problems. And if he doesn't think about his problems, he's not gonna think about solving them. And if you don't think about solving them, then I get to make the money and he gets to stay miserable and he gets to stay under my control because he doesn't realize that he's being controlled in the first place. All right, what's good with y'all boys, man? Back at y'all with another video. Now in this video, we are going to discuss the 3 vices that are ruining your life. Now without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and hop into this video. Make sure that you take your notes, bro. The first vice is lust. We're gonna break down every single aspect of lust. Let's get into it. Hold up. Let me give y'all a visual aspect. I'll be right back. This goes on your body. This does not go in your hand so that you can. This goes on your body, bruh. This does not go in your hand so that you can put it on your stuff and watch a video. Oh, wait, I gotta, let me get on X. Let me go to my favorite. Let me go to my favorite creator. Let me go to my favorite hashtag. Wait, no, this ain't the best video. No, this ain't the best part. I gotta skip to the best part of the video. Oh, no, this ain't the one yet. Oh, here you go. Here you go. I'm on. You have to stop wasting your energy beating off to a screen. You know what really made me stop beating off, bro? This is coming from somebody who used to beat off 2 to 3 times a day. Like, I'll never forget, bro. I got introduced to the hub when I was in like the 4th grade, bro. There was this dude in my class. We was outside at recess, and I remember he like showed me on his phone or something like that. He showed me, like, he pulled up the hub on his phone. And ever since, or it might have been in 4th grade or 6th grade, something like that. But ever since then, bro, this might have been 6th grade, 4th grade a little crazy. But ever since then, I was like, I'm finna go see what this is about for myself. And it cooked me, bro. But I'm gonna tell you what made me stop. What really made me stop watching the hub and beating off every single day, I told myself that I was completely down bad. That I was literally wasting my energy to chicks on the screen that don't know me. I'm allowing them to drain my energy. I'm allowing them to just control my life and have power over me when these women don't even know me. Like, I literally tell myself stuff like, I'll be watching the video, I tell myself stuff like, man, they probably stank in there. This is fake. What am I doing? You know those thoughts that come into your head, bro. Like, as soon as you get done, it's like you feel like the worst person on the planet. Like, you feel so disgusted with yourself. You looking at what she was just watching, like, bro, what am I watching? Who am I? Right? But you tell yourself you're gonna stop, then you don't stop. The next day, the next hour, you right back to it. See, that's how you know you addicted, bro. You telling yourself that you're gonna stop, then every single time you give back in. This is destroying and frying your mindset because, for one, you are breaking promises to yourself time and time again. I'm gonna stop. This is the last time. You lying to yourself. You know you lying to yourself. Me telling myself that I was down bad, like me telling myself these things, like it probably stank in there. I'm giving my energy away. These women don't know me. Like, how low frequency and low vibing can I be to be like literally doing this type of stuff with these type of women on the screen, right? I had to replace the hub with a new habit. So I started doing push-ups. Like, anytime I got the urge to do something, anytime I got the urge to, want to pull the lotion out or want to get on Twitter or want to pull up the incognito browser, I drop and hit 50 push-ups. Because you frantic, you all, antsy and all in the moment, giving into your mind. You see something on social media, you scrolling on social media, you scrolling on TikTok. You see a booty bouncing, now you turned on. Now you on hawk mode, now you ready to go in the bathroom or go ahead and get your sock, whatever you gonna do, right? So the first thing I did was like reprogram my mind to feel as bad as possible about doing that. So if I told myself how bad it was and how down bad I would be if I gave into that, I would feel extremely terrible. So me reshifting my mindset to thinking that this was never okay and I can never do this again, that was step 1. The next thing I did was replace the triggers. I took a social media detox altogether. I was getting off my phone. Like, I was doing a social media detox, bro. Like I remember like senior year or something like that, like I wasn't even using social media for real. The only app I was using was YouTube. So I did a complete detox from TikTok and Instagram. I don't even think I had TikTok at the time. So it was just strictly Instagram. And I was getting off Twitter. I did a complete detox. See, some of y'all telling yourself you're gonna stop. But literally as soon as you scroll, you on your Reels tab, boom, booty bouncing, booty bouncing, booty bouncing, jumping jacks, booty clapping, goblet squat, she in the gym, booty clapping, tights, booty pants. Like literally it's frying your brain, bro. You gotta replace that stuff on your feed with motivation, with inspiration, with gym content, with luxury cars, luxury lifestyles, money, whatever the case may be. But you looking at these IG models, bro, these is demons. These are literal succubus. So another thing I told myself was like, bro, who am I to be giving my energy to somebody who got a link in their bio? $3.99 a month? $3.99 a month? I literally started to get disgusted with myself just thinking back to how down bad I was. Like I said, sometimes it got up to 2 and 3 times a day. So these are some of the things that I did to stop, bro. Like you have to understand that this is not okay. So if you get the urge, you get the trigger, bro, drop down and do the 50 push-ups. Get off your phone. Delete Twitter off your phone. You don't use Twitter. You're not making money off Twitter. You don't need it. I was never this down bad. But please, unfollow all the IG baddies. Unfollow any girl, period, that don't follow you back. But most importantly, unfollow these IG baddies. Because the more that you get triggered, the easier it's gonna be for you to give in and pull that lotion back out, bro. This is the #1 reason why you're so stuck and miserable in life. Because you know it is a problem. You keep telling yourself that you're gonna stop, but you're in this negative cycle, this dark loop of continuously giving in. It's so many factors that play into this. For one, if you have the time to do this, think about how much time that you wasting trying to find the perfect scene of the perfect video. You on page 392. Because you didn't seen so many videos that you watching the same ones over and over again. Look at your bookmarks on Twitter. I was also not this down bad as well. If you have paid for a subscription, you were probably too far gone and you need to click off this video. I don't think there's no hope for you. But if you keep watching, bro, unsubscribe from the OF subscription, bro. Like you got these websites memorized. You got your top 5 favorite stars, right? That's unacceptable. Tell me your top 5 books, your top 5 authors. Tell me 5 things that you did today that moved the needle forward. When is the last time that you did 50 push-ups? Can you do 50 push-ups without stopping? When is the last time you went to the gym? When is the last time you journaled and took some notes? When is the last time that you touched grass? When is the last time that you talked to a girl in real life? Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Because you think it's bad just because you in the bathroom jacking off, busting in a sock. You think that's the reason that you down bad? No, that's just the start of it. Your mindset is corrupted. Okay, well, how corrupted is your mindset? You can't talk to women because your mindset is so fried. Your dopamine is so fried. You're so overly sexual that you don't even see nothing but cheeks and breasts. You can't even have a 5-minute conversation with a girl because all you're thinking about is her bouncing on you. And you think that this is okay? Like you objectifying every woman that you have a conversation with, if you have a conversation with them, because you got this fantasy in your mind of what sex is supposed to be like, and this fantasy in your mind of how women are supposed to be and how women are, right? That you are fried, you are cooked, that you can't even hold a conversation with a girl, you can't approach a girl. Like you got this weird energy, you scared, timid, and nervous, and you are a full-grown man, and you scared to talk to a woman. You can't hold eye contact. Your voice cracking. You seeing and stuttering and stuff. Like as a man, bro, you're gonna always have desires. You're gonna always get urges. You're gonna always have temptation. But it doesn't mean that you're supposed to just give in to them every time they arise, right? It doesn't mean that you're supposed to tempt yourself. It lowers your testosterone. Literally the essence that makes you a man. So the more that you beat off, jack off, and bust gallons in a sock, the less manly you become, right? So think about all this compounded over time, years of beating off 2 and 3 times a day. Think about how much manhood you have lost, how much testosterone you have lost. Your libido is fried. So you can't have an intimate connection or conversation with a woman in real life because you are attached to a screen. even worse, some men would prefer the connection that they have with these screen women, these stars, than actually building a connection with women in real life, than actually going out and talking and approaching women in real life, than building a connection with women in real life, going on dates. Most men will rather stay in their room with the lights off and beat off all day. These are the incels. These are the women haters. They blame women for their problems and their mistakes. Do you not understand that if you don't get your life in order, that's where you headed? See, you think that just because you have the urge and you want to please yourself that you're supposed to get it in that moment. You have no type of sense of delayed gratification. It kills your confidence. It makes your hair fall out your head. So you decreasing your manhood, you're less manly, your voice is not going to be as deep. You're not going to be, it's killing your gains. I know you're not going to the gym and working out if you're beating off all day. You're just not. You telling, and don't give me that excuse. No, I still go to the gym. I feel fine. It doesn't make me tired. Stop lying, bro. Stop lying. As soon as you beat off, you spend about an hour and 30 minutes trying to find your perfect video. You beat off, boom. You feel bad about yourself. Then you tired. You want to go to sleep. So you've just ruined your day. Then you compound this 2 and 3 times a day. You wasted all your day. You ain't get nothing done, and you tired all the time. Lethargy. You're not gonna have no energy to get up and want to go to work. Want to go to the gym. You're not. Anything that has to delay gratification, you're not gonna do it, because you can just pull lotion out and get your quick fix right in and there. You so focused on pleasing yourself that you have no sense of your purpose. But we just gonna leave it at they want men to be weak, they want men to be over-sexualized so you can be docile, bro, so they can control you. Because when you don't have control of your urges, when you don't have control of your lust, and you glued to your screen, the lotion is glued to your hand, and you doing this all day, every day, you are under mind control, you are under spiritual warfare, and you are going to get cooked. You don't even realize that it's that serious. You can try to downplay it if you want to, but you could, because time is gonna pass you by, and you're gonna realize that you are in a worse position, because you think that by not improving your life, that you have time to get right, that you can have fun in your 20s and all that BS that they scam you with. But no, if you are progressively getting worse, if you were progressively staying the same, you are actually hyperactively getting worse. Like, think about when you first started jacking off. See, at first it was like a magazine or something, right? At first it was like you watching like Nicki Minaj booty on YouTube or something like that. Like, it's real soft, right? Like, you ain't going to the extremes. Now think about what you just watched last night. You are fried. You are cooked. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Think about how when you first started, getting it in and stuff like that. What you was watching then versus what you watching right now. You would be ashamed. You would be devastated. You would be ready to, if that information got out what you was watching. But you don't think that you down bad? You can't talk to a girl that you find attractive. You can't go shoot your shot in person without stuttering. You can't maintain eye contact with a woman. You are a full-grown man. Your hair is falling out your head and you are 20 years old. You balding. If you don't get this one thing right, you're going to get cooked forever. You have to control your lust. So let's talk about the second half of lust. I almost jumped to the next point without even talking about the second half of lust. Because let's say you don't have an addiction to porn and beating off, right? Let's say your addiction is to chasing women. Your addiction is to sex. Okay, let's break that down then. It goes back to some of the same points, right? You're not going to be able to build an intimate connection and have a relationship with one woman if you running through all of them. You think the objective of being a man is to have the highest body count because you have this high school mentality like that freaking matters. Like, anybody cares that your body count is in the triple or quadruple digits. Nobody cares about that. You are not getting paid for that, bro. You are pleasure driven. If you are out here trying to sleep with as many women as possible, at what point in time are you going to be able to lock in on your purpose? It's literally impossible if all you think about is women. Like, you have to realize that you have to get on your purpose. There is a reason why you're here on this planet. From the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep, you worried about how many women that you can sleep with. You worried about texting all these women. You worried about having the biggest rotation. You are broke. You can't take none of these women on a date. If you slip up and bust in one of these chicks, you are going to be cooked for the next 18 years. You cannot raise a baby. You do not have 100 bands in your bank account right now to be able to take care of a baby if you have one. So what on earth are you doing? I don't care if you're in college and that's what everybody else doing. Why do you want to be like everybody else? You see how they living. Think about think about where you're going to be 4 years from now if you keep living the same way that you living. At what point in time are you going to look ahead at people who you actually want to be like and see what they're doing? You have to be able to delay the gratification. I'm not telling you to be a caveman and be a monk and never talk to chicks, never go on dates, to be single for the rest of your life. I'm not telling you to do that. But you are literally disempowering yourself the more that you stay trapped by the pleasures of sex. Because like I said, you're always gonna have urges, you're always gonna have temptations, you're always gonna have these desires. But you have to understand how to control and transmute that energy into something positive. You don't see, y'all not ready to talk about sexual transmutation, because once you get the urge, you are ready to release. That energy can be harnessed and transmuted upward and exerted outwardly to impact your life in a positive way, to be able to create something, to be able to put some work in. That sexual drive that you have, imagine how you can transmute that energy into a gym workout. But that sexual drive is literally depleted when you jack off every single time. When you bust, when you having sex with a girl. It's depleted every single time, so you feel less motivated, less energized. You're always tired every single time you release. But imagine if you harnessed and held that energy. I'm not talking about going on semen retention for 365 days, how these people used to be. They used to count their streak. They on day 780. They lying. But what I am saying is you do need to be on NoFap. You need to stop jacking off right now today. There are no positive benefits of jacking off. Not a single one. There's no positive benefits of watching the hub. You need to be able to cut off your desires and sex being at the focal point of your mind. Chasing women being at the focal point of your mind. That's not why you're here, bro. Because at the end of the day, you chasing women, they're running farther away from you. You are supposed to be spending your life improving yourself, becoming the most masculine, successful, in shape version of yourself. Spiritually aligned version of yourself, so that you can attract a woman who is on your caliber. The second thing that you need to cut out of your life, the second vice that's destroying you, is weed and alcohol. This is coming from somebody who used to smoke weed all the time. I used to make the excuse, it's making me creative. It was making me feel good. I needed to take the stress away and all this different type of stuff. Whatever excuse that you're gonna make. It's just fun, it's just cool, it's just a hobby, all my friends doing it. I used to be smoking weed all the time, bro. And I'm gonna tell you certain scenarios because I know that y'all can relate. Before I moved to Texas, bro, I wasn't working at a job that could pay for my car that I had at the time. So what I was doing is DoorDashing. I would DoorDash all day. And it took like $50 to fill up my tank. And I'm in a small city, bro, so like, it ain't really, you're not finna just run up the ultimate bag DoorDashing where I was at. It ain't like it's a booming area, bro, right? So there would be phases where you would be DoorDashing, it would literally not be busy, so you ain't getting no orders. So imagine me stretching my day out. I'd probably, on a good day, I make probably like $75, right? $75 DoorDashing. The money that it took me all day to make $75. I would put a little bit of gas in my tank, buy me something to eat from Wendy's, and I would buy me some weed. Then when I moved out here, bro, when I finally got into my own crib, my own space, I was able to smoke as much as I wanted to, buy as much weed as I wanted to, and my tolerance went through the roof, bro. I was smoking 2 and 3 times a day. I would run through 7 grams of weed in like 2-3 days. If you somebody who can run through it faster than that, you're cooked. Like, I'm not saying this to brag. So eventually, me buying 7s wasn't enough. So then I had to start buying halves. I would run through that in less than a week. So I'm starting to realize just how much money I'm spending on weed. And I'm looking at my bank account. I'm like, bro, I'm way too down. I'm spending way too much money on weed. Then I realized I was cooked because I was like, oh, I can stop whenever I want to. And to a degree, that was actually true. Like if I didn't have to like incrementally stop, like I'm gonna only smoke once a day. Like that was always a choice. But I realistically could, because I did this multiple times. If I wanted to stop smoking weed, I literally could stop for however long I wanted to. But it was never in my mind that I was gonna stop for good. That was the biggest problem. Like I could smoke 3 blunts in a day, and then the next day I'd be like, okay, I'm done smoking. And I would literally stop smoking for like a month or 2, right? But it would always be something that tempt me. It always be something that bring the desire back. Like, you know what? I ain't smoked in 2 months, so I'm finna buy me something. Then I start off small. I buy, just a little 3-5. Smoke that 3-5 in 2 days. Smoke the 3-5 in a day. Then I'll be like, you know what? I need to get me a 7 then. And then I'll be right back up to buying 14s. So in my mind, now that I'm looking back, it's like, what was the freaking point of me stopping just for 2 months just to go right back to buying and spending the money on it? Because I wasn't just saving the money. It ain't like I was saving the money. I would find something else to spend the money on. And it was probably food, right? So if I wasn't, because I'm just as much money as I'm spending on weed, I'm spending on food. So at the same time, if I start spending the money on weed, then I'm just double the money spending on food. So the money still getting spent regardless. So I'm thinking about it like I'm thinking that I'm doing something by just not smoking. No, bro, you still spending the money. So think about how much time that you waste going to get the weed. See, I remember there was a point in time, bro. This was a few months ago. I went and after work, I went and bought some weed, and it was all type of traffic. I had to go all around. It took me like an hour just to get the product. Then I had to drive about another 30 minutes just to get home. After that, I'm like, bro, I just wasted all this time just to get this weed. Then I'm finna come home. Then I'm finna have to, break it down, roll it up, smoke. That's gonna take another hour and a half, 2 hours. It's like, bro, now that I think about it, like, think about how much time that you wasting when you smoking weed. Think about how much money you wasting smoking weed. And think about how much stuff you not getting done smoking weed. So when I actually finally stopped smoking weed, bro, I realized that I could have easily stopped. Because once again, I told you, I never really just had a problem stopping. If I set it in my mind to stop smoking weed, I would start smoking weed. But the only difference now is I don't plan to go back to smoking weed. I don't even have desires to smoke weed. Like, I don't think about smoking weed no more at all. So that's how I understand that it was really not really just addiction. It was just something I really, 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 really enjoyed doing. But my enjoyment for the weed does not overvalue the amount of money and time that I was wasting and spending. Because there was so much more stuff that I could be doing rather than smoking weed, than spending money on weed, than driving around to get the weed. I never ever struggled with alcohol. It took me a long time to even really just start drinking. And even when I was drinking, I was always a social drinker. Like, I never just come home from a long day of work and be like, man, I need to drink. No, that was what weed was for me. So alcohol was never really my problem. I would never just sit at home and get drunk. I would never go out in public and just be overly drunk, right? There's only been a handful of times where I really, really, really have just been drunk. Because anytime I used to drink, I always knew when to stop. Like, I want to just get loose, catch a little vibe, pause. I want to just catch a little vibe, and that was it. Like, I don't want to drink, too much. Because for one, I feel like it's feminine to be sloppy drunk. You a full grown man, you can't control, can't control yourself. I feel like that's a little feminine. I never wanted to be in that predicament where it's just like, I'm too sloppy drunk, can't even control myself. Another thing, I didn't like having hangovers and throwing up, and the next day is just trash because I done drunk so much the previous day. So I had a love-hate relationship with drinking. Like, I would drink it just for the vibes, just, in social settings and stuff like that. But that was never really what I just truly wanted to do. Like, I would much rather just straight smoke weed than just, drink alcohol. But these two things right here are destroying you. Destroying your mindset, destroying your health. You're not at your optimal peak version of yourself, smoking and drinking. It's destroying your health. The weed making you tired. The weed making you slow down. The weed giving you the munchies, so now you overeating. The alcohol is destroying your liver, right? Frying your brain. So you need to be able to cut this type of stuff off. And I'm going to tell you the most important thing that factors this in, because you probably didn't start smoking on your own. You probably didn't start drinking on your own. You was introduced to it by friends, by your peers. You was tempted to do it. Peer pressure to do it. Like, you see your friends smoking, now you want to smoke. You see the rappers that you listen to, you see they smoking, now you want to smoke. You see your friends drinking at parties and turning up and this, that, and the third, now you want to drink. All in high school, you were straight sober. You weren't doing none of that. Then you get to college, start going to the party, see how everybody else living, what they doing. Now you worse. Now you can't live without the weed. See, I was to the point, I'm gonna tell you this about weed. I was to the point where if I was leaving the crib, I had to be high. I had to be high. I didn't care where I was going. I had to be high before we left. If I'm going to the movies, I got it. Let me smoke real quick. Going to a party, going to the club, let me smoke real quick. Because if I didn't smoke, it was like I wasn't gonna be able to enjoy myself. Because once again, I'm not going for the alcohol, so I didn't really care about that. That was just a plus. I gotta smoke. Gotta smoke, bro. Like that's how I knew that it was getting to a point, because I didn't want to do nothing unless I smoked. And I would literally get mad if something interfered with me smoking before I left. I would get mad. Like I remember sometimes me and my girl, we would get in arguments because like, bro, she'll be getting ready and I'll be waiting on her to get ready. And it's like certain stuff I need to smoke before I leave, bro. And then I don't get to smoke the full blunt. I only get to, be outside smoking for like 10 minutes. I'm mad because I want to sit out there and smoke and get right. So as I'm reflecting back, I realized that, bro, I was getting cooked. The weed was smoking me. I had to be high in order just to go place, in order to function. I had to be high just to get an appetite. Like it would be times where I'd be sober. Me and my girl would be talking about what we gonna eat tonight, what we gonna eat. I'm like, I don't know, I gotta smoke first. I gotta smoke to do everything at this point, right? So looking back, it's like, bro, I was super dependent on the weed. Like, yeah, I could stop, but it's like I was so dependent on it that it was the source of all my decision making. It was the source of everything I was doing. I wake up, start the day, I'll smoke before I eat. I'll smoke before I go to work. Like I would make sure that I fit smoking into my routine. I would smoke before I go to sleep. It was just down bad. Now that I'm looking back on it, it was down bad. A lot of y'all is in this situation, but you coping with it. Like you don't need it, bro. You don't need it. So if you're somebody who really just worse off than I was and you hear how down bad I was, like you have to work in like, okay, how do I slowly but surely get this out of my life? Because everybody can't just up and just cold turkey stop. Like me, I didn't necessarily ever have a problem with just, stopping stuff cold turkey. But you might be somebody who needs to incrementally break stuff off. So the first thing is you have to remove the triggers in order to want to do it. So that, like I was saying, going back to the people that you hanging around, stop hanging around people that smoke weed all the time. And that'll lessen your desire to want to smoke weed. Delete your plug number. If you got some weed right now, flush it down the toilet. See, I know that's difficult because I didn't even do that myself. So I know that I understand if you don't do that. I didn't even do that. Like I wasn't gonna throw it. I wasn't gonna flush it down the toilet and throw it away. I'm like, okay, well, if I'm really finna be done smoking, I'm finna just smoke the rest of it. Like I would just smoke it faster. I wouldn't just try to stretch it out. I would just smoke it faster. So I understand if you ain't gonna flush it down the toilet. I understand. You spent your money. I spent my money on this. I'm not finna just flush it down. I'm finna smoke this. So I understand. But you know that you need to stop. So get the weed out of the house. Let's just say that. Get the weed out of the house. However you need to do it, get it out of the house. Delete your plug number. Stop going out with your friends that smoke weed all the time. Pour the alcohol down the drain. Stop going out with your friends to the club who drink all the time. Stop going out. Tell them, I'm finna stop with this. Don't be scared. Don't get tempted. Don't stop for a little bit. Then one day they hit you up. You're like, man, okay, well, I ain't smoked in a little bit. I ain't had a drink in a little bit. So one time will hurt. Stop making that excuse. Because the overarching theme and why I stopped all this stuff is because I was working on my relationship with God too. Like, this is how down bad I was, bro. See, I knew that the last thing that I was gonna do was smoke weed. Because I used to always, like, if I was gonna smoke at the end of the day, I would wait till the sun go down so I could smoke. So I would rush doing Bible study just so I could go outside and smoke. That's when I realized I was like, man, some gotta give, bro. I'm down bad, right? I'm down bad. So as I started prioritizing my relationship with God, I was like, me continuing to smoke weed is not really worth it because I'm reading stuff in the Bible that's overly convicting me about my smoking. So I'm like, okay, well, I definitely need to cut this out because it doesn't make sense for me to be trying to rush through Bible study, rush reading the Bible, rush prayer just so I can go smoke. You have to be able to have that same discernment and that same discipline to be able to make these same decisions because you realize who you want to be and where you're trying to go. Now, the last vice that we're going to talk about is entertainment. You just want to be in this docile state of continuous entertainment. You always want to be laughing. You always want to be pleased. You always want to be satisfied. You always want to be comfortable, right? You are addicted to your phone, scrolling all day on TikTok. You know everything about all the celebrity news. You watching all the streamers. You just entertain to the maximum. Your dopamine receptors is through the freaking roof. And your mindset is cooked. See, this is one of the best hobbies that I picked up because all throughout school, I hated reading books. Any type of summer reading, I did not do it. So anytime we had a test on a summer reading book, I failed the test because I was not reading, bro. All throughout high school, y'all remember we had AR, the accelerated reader, all the different types of stuff. You read the book, take the test, get the points. I didn't do none of that. I was not reading. From elementary all the way to high school, I was not reading books, bro. You was not gonna pay me to read a book. I didn't care if I was gonna fail the test. I did not care. I'm not reading. But once I really got out of school and I started picking up books, this is the way of the superior man. I am so glad. Like, this is one of my best hobbies, bro. This is one of my favorite hobbies, I mean. Like, I literally take pride in reading books. Like, the same way I used to get joy buying some weed, some new weed, I now get that joy when I order a book and it arrives in my mailbox. When I finish a book and I crack open another one. That's when my joy come in. When I'm taking notes on a book that I read. Like, as you can see, these journal pages is filled up, bro. Got paper falling out, but as you can see, bro, journaling every single day, that's straight work of me actually not just entertaining myself, but educating myself. See, if you just read a fraction of the time that you spend scrolling on social media, you would be 10 times smarter, 10 times ahead. I guarantee you. Like, you can't even tell me the last time you picked up a book that you read front to back in a timely manner. I'm not talking about you read one book and it took you 9 months to read it. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about something that you had to do for college or for school. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about really picked up a book on your own and you read it from front to back. You can't tell me the last time you did it. But you know what they say about books, bro? All the information that you need is in a book. We live in the information age. You just got to know where the information at. Because information is not entertainment, right? Now, you can make information entertaining, but that's not what you watch neither. You just want entertainment that pleases you, that makes you more comfortable. But I guarantee that if you start reading books, prioritizing your mindset, strengthening and guarding your mind, building an iron mind, you will stop watching that BS that you're watching that don't make no sense, right? Like, instead of watching Could Have Been Love, pick up a freaking book and read 20 pages. I'm not talking about you got to read for an hour straight. Read 10 pages a day, 20 pages a day. Another thing with entertainment, put your phone down, hit 50 push-ups. Hit 50 push-ups periodically throughout the day until you get to 200, right? You have to realize that the more that you entertain yourself, the more comfortable you will be and the more stuck that you will be. This is why your phone can be your biggest asset or your worst enemy. Because you can use your phone to literally create financial freedom and get you out of your job. Or you can use your phone to literally keep you stuck and make your position worse and worse and worse. Because I'm gonna tell you this, because when you get on social media, you get on YouTube, you get on TikTok, you see all these people that's your age, if not younger, living a lifestyle that you can only dream of. And you asking yourself, man, what did they do? What am I doing wrong? Right? You see all these people like Quan and all these different streamers and all these different YouTubers, right? Making all this money from social media or from Instagram or from a clothing brand, right? Whatever the case may be. And you like, bro, this person is younger than me, making more money than me. What am I doing wrong? I'm cooked. But you say that, then you go right back to watching their video. They telling you what they did in the video, you go right back to just watching the next video. Because you're in a cycle, a loop of continual pleasure. Like, sometimes it's like you literally glued to your phone, your eyes is glued, you can't even get up. Like, you probably watch 3,000 TikToks in an hour, but ain't made one TikTok. This is coming from somebody, bro. It took me so long to get TikTok because I thought TikTok was like Triller. I thought TikTok was just like a dancing app where you just get on there and make dancing videos. I didn't need that. But then when I realized, like, okay, well, it's actually more to it than this, and I actually made some TikTok videos, I'm like, okay, well, boom. One of them started getting traction, going viral. I'm like, well, I can really do something with this, right? So I actually started making content. But the thing I'm saying is, I was late to downloading TikTok. So the perfect time to really start shifting was yesterday. But yesterday is not today. So the second best time to really start shifting from entertainment to education is right now today. Like, really be intentional about limiting your social media usage. Really be intentional about really reading books and taking notes and taking action on the books that you read. Don't read one book without taking no notes on it. Then you go to the next book. Don't read a book, then go to the next book without taking action on something that you wrote down from the book. See, I don't just read books, bro. When I read books, I got a pen in my hand. So when I'm reading something and it stick out, I put brackets around the paragraph or the sentence, and I take some notes based on that. And I ask myself, okay, well, how can I apply this into my life? How can I take action on this today? Or how can I take action on this tomorrow? So stop just watching videos just to be entertained, just to laugh. That's another thing I used to do when I used to like, I watch like business related videos and stuff like that. But when I was still smoking weed, while I was smoking, I want to get on TikTok and watch like entertainment videos because I was relaxing. I was getting into a more docile state. So I just wanted to be entertained, right? I'm getting high, so I just want to laugh and stuff like that, right? Setting me back. So if you can master these 3 vices right here, your lust, drugs, and alcohol, in entertaining yourself, if you can master those 3 things, you will literally skyrocket your productivity. You will skyrocket your discipline. You will start to improve your confidence. You will start to improve your physique. You will start to get smarter. You will probably start making more money because you will start to reinvent yourself, because you will start attaching to different things, creating new hobbies, creating a new identity for yourself. You'll start moving different. This is what must be done. These are 3 things that I struggle with, that I stopped doing, that I nipped in the bud. And I'm a completely different person as a result of these things. Like if I was still jacking off daily, watching porn daily, chasing women all day, still smoking and still drinking on the weekends, and just watching social media videos and, you know, entertain myself all day, I would be cooked. I would not be here right now. I would still be gone from making YouTube videos, making excuses, having all these limits and beliefs, and I would be freaking miserable. But I would be coping with it because I'm comfortable, because I'm happy, because I'm high, because I'm entertained. This is literally the biggest trap on men, to keep you as docile and stuck and controlled and programmed as possible so that you can't create a life for yourself. But you got to call another grown man boss. You got to live check to check. And you got to be miserable in your relationships if you have any, because you are the least masculine version of yourself. Society wants you to be the least masculine version of yourself, and it's only up to you to take control and rewrite that frame, to take control of your life and actually say, no, I realize that I'm being controlled. See, that's the biggest thing about it. You don't realize that you scrolling on social media is control. It's mind control. What do you think the algorithm is? How do you think these social media apps get paid? By keeping you on the app as long as possible. That is literally the control right there. It's like puppet master just controlling you. We're going to keep him on the phone by only showing him videos that he want to see, so he stays on this app as long as possible. Because if he stays on this app as long as possible, he's not going to think about his problems. And if he doesn't think about his problems, he's not going to think about solving them. And if you don't think about solving them, then I get to make the money and he gets to stay miserable and he gets to stay under my control because he doesn't realize that he's being controlled in the first place. Watch the movie The Matrix, bro. A lot of y'all are taking the blue pill every single day, taking the blue pill, blue pill, blue pill, blue pill. You are trapped. You are so plugged in, it doesn't even make no sense. Rip the plug out the back of your head, take the red pill and wake up. Because if not, you cook. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Catch y'all in the next one.